The regular meeting of the Aurora City Council for Monday, June 24, 2024 is called to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mayor Kaufman.
Here.
Councilmember Bergen.
Here.
Councilmember Coombs.
Present.
Councilmember Gardner.
Here.
Councilmember Hancock.
Here.
Councilmember Jurinsky.
Here.
Councilmember Lawson.
Here.
Councilmember Medina.
Here.
Councilmember Murillo.
Present.
Councilmember Sundberg. Okay. I see you present. Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Zvonek.
Here.
There's a quorum.
Announcement for the public call-in line.
City Council welcomes feedback from the public on both matters appearing on the agenda and during public invited to be heard. If you would like to speak and have not already spoken to an operator, please press *3. For those watching on Channel 8, call 855-695-3475 and press *3 when connected. You will hear a prompt confirming you are in line to speak to an operator and then be able to continue listening to the meeting. When the operator comes on the line, please be ready to give them your name and agenda item you wish to speak on. Keep in mind you must press *3 before the city clerk reads the title of the item you wish to speak on. Finally, as a reminder, council does not allow comments about any items on the agenda during public invited to be heard. Each speaker is allowed 3 minutes, and public invited to be heard is limited to 1 hour in total.
El Consejo Municipal de la Ciudad de Aurora da la bienvenida a la opinión de sus habitantes y otros vecinos en asuntos comparecientes en la agenda y durante la invitación a la audiencia. Esta sesión tiene disponible interpretación en español. Intérprete allá atrás. Por favor, háganos saber si usted necesita este servicio. Recuerde que el Consejo no permite comentarios de la audiencia mientras se dirigen asuntos de la agenda del día. Por favor, confirme su turno y espere a la invitación para comentario público. Gracias.
Please join me in a moment of prayer. O Lord, our God and our Father, we come to you and we ask that you would look upon this particular gathering tonight to keep us safe and guide us in our decisions. Bless our city with honorable citizens, industries, sound education, and good government. Unite our community together, even though we come from different backgrounds. We pray that there be justice and peace in our city. Give the city council and citizens the wisdom, direction, and sensitivity to the business and proceedings before us tonight. Hear us, therefore, as we commit this meeting to the help of our community. Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Land acknowledgement. The city of Aurora acknowledges that we gather on the territories and ancestral homelands of the Cheyenne, Ute, Arapaho, and Lakota peoples, past and present. We also recognize the 48 contemporary tribal nations that are historically tied to the lands that make up the state of Colorado. Indigenous peoples have remained committed to the stewardship of this land over many centuries. As these words of acknowledgement are spoken and heard, the ties that these nations have to their traditional homelands and to their vital place in the ecosystem are renewed and reaffirmed, and we are called to be better stewards of the land we inhabit as we continue to work to meet the needs of our entire community. Proclamation. Councilmember Allison Coombs. There are no minutes.
This is the proclamation for Disability Pride Month. If we can have Carlin Shorb and Will Flowers, please come down. Whereas the experience of disability is a natural part of life that intersects with all aspects of identity, including race, ethnicity, age, socioeconomic status, gender, and all backgrounds, and whereas disability is a diverse identity in and of itself, encompassing those with physical, intellectual, developmental, emotional, invisible, acquired, chronic, device-assisted, and more. And whereas individuals with disabilities are valued members of our communities and our city, and whereas disability should in no way diminish one's right to independence, self-determination, advocacy, or social engagement, but rather should be a celebrated aspect of one's personhood. And whereas despite the powerful social movements that led to the signing of the Americans with Disabilities Act on 26 July 1990 by President George H.W. Bush, individuals with disabilities still experience barriers to full social participation, and whereas in order to remove the persistent barriers presented to individuals with disabilities, the creation of equitable and inclusive environments for individuals with disabilities is the shared responsibility of every individual, regardless of ability. Now, therefore, I, Mike Kaufman, Mayor of the City of Aurora, Colorado, do hereby proclaim the month of July 2024 as Disability Pride Month, and invite you to celebrate the countless talents, experiences, and contributions of individuals with disabilities, and commit to taking meaningful action to build a city inclusive to all. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Aurora, Colorado, to be affixed this 24th day of June, 2024.
Mayor and esteemed members of the Aurora City Council, I want to thank you together with my colleague Will Flowers for the opportunity to accept this proclamation honoring and celebrating Disability Pride Month, which begins on July 1st. The month of July is an important month for the disability community, as it was in that month back in 1990 when then President George H.W. Bush signed the landmark Americans with Disabilities Act into law. As a parent of an autistic child and a person who was raised by a blind mother, I'm deeply attuned to the barriers an inaccessible environment creates and perpetuates for folks with disabilities. Therefore, this evening, I would like to also express my sincerest gratitude and appreciation for the commitment and resources this council is putting toward accessibility efforts here in the city, as our amazing programs, activities, and services deserve to be shared by all. Have a wonderful evening, and thank you again for this proclamation honoring Disability Pride Month. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me give a decorum announcement prior to public invited to be heard. Please respect those who are speaking, whether you are in agreement with the content or not. Outbursts from anyone is not permitted. Please refrain from clapping, snapping, cheering, or booing to allow everyone the opportunity to be heard. Council shall be given opportunity to address staff to exchange contact information when the speaker is at the podium. The council may clarify statements related to the speaker's comments at the conclusion of public invited to be heard, but shall not enter into debate with the speakers. Public invited to be heard is limited to 1 hour total, and each speaker is allotted 3 minutes. So what I'll do is, if somebody is at the end of the 3 minutes, I will gently tap the gavel. But just be aware that if there are more people signed up that can speak given the 3 minutes. And so if you're going over the 3 minutes, you're cutting somebody else out that would like the opportunity to speak, because we're not going to go beyond the hour.
Mayor, point of order.
Councilmember Coons.
We have the ability as council to agree to go over the hour. Has it already been predetermined by?
Let me just say that the mayor will not support us going over an hour.
This is a council-strong committee.
Public invited to be heard.
David Johnson.
Try to keep it to 3. My name is David Johnson. I live at 11993 Eastdale Way in the Dam West neighborhood. I'm a board member of the HOA there, and I've lived in that neighborhood for 24 years. Been in Aurora actually since the late 80s. Former volunteer with Aurora on the open space and an architect by profession. Some of you may know I had an unwanted visitor come to my house a week ago for Friday, a masked gunman. It's been on the news and whatnot, and also visited another neighbor in the neighborhood. And that shook us up quite a bit. And I know the police are working on that right now, and more power to them to solve that problem. You know, as a board member, I've spoken with sworn officers in the past, and I understand what's going on now. And we have people here tonight that have a lot of concerns about the police. But I'm here to say that I strongly support APD being built back up to its former and effective strength in a well-staffed, well-trained manner with no bias. But we are, as you painfully know, we're so understaffed on the police department, and that's causing problems. And we've seen that just in this incident where response times weren't necessarily that fast. And in fact, this bad guy showed up again at this other neighbor's house, and there was a chance to potentially catch him, and I don't think anybody showed up in time for that event as well. So I do support, as I said, strengthening our police force in a good way. I don't support what some of the other neighborhoods are doing, like Denver. I noticed they just passed something that said they're letting minor traffic offenses slide. I think that's kind of going in the wrong direction myself. Other cities have done tough things in the past. You guys, I'm sure, have this well under control. But if we can't hire police force fast enough, I would suggest or request that maybe we could consider grants for programs within our neighborhoods, whether it's camera systems or something to help us with this problem. It seems to be increasing. This is we had a theft not too long ago from somebody breaking into a house, and now this. So something really, really needs to be done. I would just say I support your growth in trying to increase the police, and please let's get back to a good and safe Aurora for everyone. So thank you.
Tay Anderson.
My name is Ayante Anderson, and the amount that it took me to walk from those stairs down to here, an unarmed black man in your city lost his life to your Aurora Police Department. An unarmed black man lost his life due to your Aurora Police Department. His name was Kylan Lewis. Your Aurora Police Department knows how to get white men who commit mass murder just blocks away from this building at a movie theater with guns, ammunition, and he gets to walk away alive. James Holmes gets to sit in a cell for the rest of his life by the Aurora Police Department, but Kylan Lewis pulls out a phone like this and his life is over. So there's some corruption in the Aurora Police Department. There is some bias in the Aurora Police Department. We thought this was going to stop after Elijah McClain. You had Jordell Richardson. Now we are here yet again. And we are not going away. So Francois, your nonverbals, they do matter. You have not looked at me once. So I'm letting you know, and the rest of this council know, this will be a new day in Aurora. Yeah, we might have some Denverites come on over. We might have some folks from different municipalities, but this is a new day in Aurora. Kylan Lewis will be the last unarmed black man murdered by the Aurora Police Department. We will no longer have these rallies where we have to say his name. We will no longer be in the city where we are afraid to get pulled over by your police department. This is a different Aurora after today. So you must ask yourself, will you be complicit in the murder of unarmed black men, or will you finally stand up and do something about it? We're not going away. this 50 or 70 people, it's only going to grow. Just remember 2020. We took your lawns over. We'll be back. This is your warning. You can fire the officer that murdered Kylan Lewis. You can hold him accountable, or we will be back. Say his name. Kylan Lewis. 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 No justice. No peace. We'll see you at the next meeting.
Yes, sir.
Duron Turner. Duron Turner.
Good evening. My name is Deron Turner. When I think about all of the police violence that has occurred over just the last 5 years, it's at an all-time high. One of the things that should be made crystal clear is the fact that the word peace officer should be taken out of the vernacular of policing in this country. The fear that they exude shows by the fact that they are so violent. Violence comes from a space of fear. I always thought that a part of being a police person was having the ability to discern a real threat. The way they are functioning today shows that they fear what is different and poses no real threat. This young man, Kylan Lewis, that was just recently murdered by police violence, had his hands up and a phone in one hand. I'm trying to understand where the justification is in just wantonly unaliving someone. Where's the shift in training? Where's the humanity? Actually, there is no humanity when a notch in your belt comes from how many black people you have unalived. When will the day come when it's actually shocking to see people that are supposed to be enforcing the law actually being accountable while upholding the law and protecting and serving everyone?
Lissy Owen.
My name is Lissy Owen. I'm a civil rights lawyer. What I do is I hold institutions accountable. I represent people in cases where institutions, including the government, hurts them. Kylan Lewis was murdered by the Aurora Police Department. This is a situation where a government has hurt somebody, and it is hurting all of the people in this city. Here's what I want you to know as somebody who's speaking to you with privilege, with education, with status. I know. I've been in the rooms where cases get talked about like this is just some exercise, like this is some hypothetical in law school. I sit in those spaces. I hear the way city attorneys talk about the people who were murdered, who bring lawsuits to get the little justice that we offer in this country, which is money, which isn't going to bring this man back to life. Amen. I know. I see you. Here's what else I know. You can do something about this. It is a choice not to hold police officers accountable. It is a choice. You can demand that the district attorney for the 18th Judicial District file first-degree murder charges against this officer, just like he would if this was a person. The only reason this officer is in charge because he's considered something larger than a person. Also, I assume there will be litigation that comes out of this. We will be watching the way that the city attorney's office defends this case. We will educate people about the role that civil defense lawyers play in preventing future murders. And I want to say one last thing about the first man who got up and asked you all to build back up the police force. Progressive policing, defunded policing, didn't make the system that led to an armed man entering that man's home. You all made that system. The Aurora Police Department of today made that system. We didn't make it. We're not causing the violence. It is the system as it exists today. Do something, please.
Shannon Donnelly.
Hi, my name is Shannon Donnelly, and I'm an Aurora resident. I want to start my speech with Black Lives Matter. They've always mattered, and they still matter. I'm here for a situation that my community is going through. Over the past few weeks, we've had several outdoor parties that are in the cul-de-sac within 16th to 17th Avenue on Alton. I want to thank Allison for taking my call earlier this week, but it's gotten out of control. There was a shooting that injured a 3-year-old child, as well as a shooting last night. I've called city services and the non-emergency line many times, and there's no response. I think that being proactive instead of reactive in this situation would be much better. I have many people who are also here with me that are dealing with these issues, and the constant noise and stress from the parties have taken a toll on my health. I've had migraines. It's made me lose work. The music from these parties start as early as 8 a.m. in the morning and go until 3 a.m. the next morning. There's many kind of code issues that are happening, and I'm trying to do this the right way and talk to the city. So I really just implore you as a council to be proactive in this situation so that we don't have to have a shooting happen that injures children, and just really asking that there can be some proactive behavior for this. They've been happening week after week. I am very disappointed in the lack of response from the apartment company as well. There's been many issues, and it seems that the apartment company doesn't care to take care of the people that live in the apartments and also the community around. So again, grateful for Allison for taking my call. I hope that we can get the support of the entire council and mayor so that we can implement some measures to stop these disruptive gatherings. There's a park right up the street that they could be doing this at, and they choose to just keep doing this because there's been no response to it. So wanted to come and tell you about these gatherings, and I really hope that we can do something about it. So I thank you for your time and consideration, and I want to end and yield my time that Black Lives Matter, and they matter more today than ever. Thank you.
Maria McComb.
Hi, I'm going to just read off of my thing. I don't know any of these people, but thank you for allowing me to speak today. I came here today to speak on the tragic killing of Kylan Lewis, an unarmed black man who deserved due process and the right to a fair trial. This incident raises critical issues about police conduct, fear-driven responses, and systemic injustice. Kylan Lewis was not experiencing a mental health crisis. Instead, it seems our police were. Body camera footage from the incident shows officers acting out of an irrational fear, seeing threats where there were none. Kylan was holding a cell phone, yet officers reacted as if he posed an immediate danger. Even if he had been holding a gun, we have the right to bear arms in America. Our constitutional right protects us. It's not a lawful defense to shoot someone simply for possessing a gun. Kylan had a warrant based on the testimony of an eyewitness who is legally blind and admitted to seeing people in threes. This dubious evidence underscores the necessity of Kylan's right to a trial. The police are not judge, jury, and executioner. It is unlawful for police officers to shoot someone because they didn't immediately follow orders. Kylan deserved his day in court. Moreover, I heard no one say police or identify themselves as officers during the encounter. This is particularly troubling when the Aurora police recently put out that people were impersonating police officers. So the Aurora Police Department's alert instructed citizens, if you aren't sure if the stop is legitimate, you can call 911. Tell them your location and confirm that it's an official traffic stop. How can we expect compliance when identification is unclear and trust is already compromised? When Kylan didn't follow the orders because no one identified themselves, he didn't run or face the officers. Instead, he reached into his pocket and was shot and killed by reaching for the very cell phone the public was told to use to verify the legitimacy of a stop. This tragic misinterpretation of his actions highlights a deep-seated issue with our police force's response protocol. You did not get to say that he didn't comply with orders. The Aurora Police Department's response to this tragedy was appallingly classless. The police chief's response was to thank her officers for their hard work, a move that deflects from the fact that another unarmed black man was killed. This lack of accountability is unacceptable and further erodes trust in our law enforcement. Kylan Lewis had a family that loved him, and they deserve to see him given a fair trial. The pattern of violence against black men must end. We cannot continue to let these tragedies occur and become more statistics. Each life lost is a family shattered and a community harmed. Kylan should be alive today. I urge this council to take concrete steps to prevent such incidents in the future. Most importantly, we must remember that everyone, regardless of their background or their accusations against them, has a right to due process. It's time to say enough is enough. We must stop the senseless killing and ensure that every member of our community is treated with the dignity and respect they deserve. The reason why we have so much crime is because people have lost respect for law and order due to this type of policing. Once again, the reason why we have so much crime is because people have lost respect for law and order due to this type of policing. Thank you.
Tanya Tabachek. Tanya Tabachek.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. First thing I want to say is all lives matter, Asian, Black, everyone, not everyone. Next thing I want to say is that I also too did watch the video, and there's more to the story that is being given as well. Other than that, I just wanted to state that the Concord, it's my turn to speak. And be quiet then. Disrespect. Anyways, there's people in Concord, the racers and so forth, that are going around again, causing wheelies, and they're shooting up the air, and they're causing issues and so forth. And also there are people with, there were fireworks near a house causing issues and concerns. Another thing is my brother, who is Iraq. He was at Afghanistan twice, and he's still in the Army Reserves for 27 years. I did bring up this to his attention when I was in North Carolina. He was concerned, but he also said there's a higher majority of also white people that get killed that don't get recognized as well. So I just wanted to state that for my brother who's a rep. Thank you.
Mikey Pabon. Mikey Pabon.
It's actually Mickey Pabon. I'm a resident in Aurora, Colorado, 300 block Ironton Street to be exact, and I'm here for justice for Kylan Lewis, who was shot outside of our home, being unarmed by your Aurora Police Department. You guys want to sit here and say you guys are to protect and serve, but how are you protecting when you're killing unarmed people outside of their home? How can we feel safe anywhere? You guys, there's no justice for anybody. You guys want us to feel like all lives matter, Black lives matter, but you guys don't act like we matter at all. And it doesn't make sense. And like they stated way earlier, if it would have been a white man, he would have still had his life today. But because he was a colored man, a big man, they took that from him. They took that from all of us. And while all of us are grieving, hurting, crying over our lost ones, Officer Biek is on a paid vacation, enjoying his life like nothing ever happened. He has no consequences, and he has to be held accountable. It's not fair. Kylan didn't get to see his chance in court. He didn't get a chance at all. It doesn't matter the fact that he committed murder, cold murder. He's still going to get a chance in court eventually if it comes to. And I just ask that we bring justice for Kylan Lewis, because what's going on in this community is not right. You can't say that you stand for us, that for the people. You aren't for the people. You guys are for some people. And there's no justice in that at all. Thank you.
Midian Holmes. Midian Holmes.
Ma'am, before you start my time, I'm going to clean this off because there's some people that came up here that I think left a mess up on this dais. So I'm going to clean this off before you start my time. Before you start my time. I wrote a speech today to come and speak in the name of Kylan Lewis. But as I sat here, I realized that this is performative. This is a performance. You all are the cast. Actually, I'm sorry. You all are the characters. And we are the audience that is supposed to watch something happen. I despise this building because of the outcomes that come from it. Each and every time that a Black life is slain, you sit up here with a posture as if this is just the way society goes. And it's been that way for quite a while. Whatever rationalization is in your mind that this man should be gone, it's not good enough because it dehumanizes you. Some of us forget that injustice was right at our doorstep, and community had to show up to ensure that that injustice did not take yet another Black life and bury him behind the prison walls. Interestingly enough, that's easy to forget. Our community has always been resilient, right? We say that all the time, the Black community's resilience. The part we don't talk about is its unjustified resilience. But I've realized that many of you want us in that space of unjustified resilience because you've become self-aware. Somehow, some way, we become a threat because we have always been able to step up. We have always been able to surpass. So ironically, It should be non-black community that's asking for equity, because if the playing level was steady, y'all wouldn't have a chance. So ironically, it should be the non-black community that is seeking for and fighting for equity to make sure you can stay in the game. Kylin Lewis should be alive, period. Each of you knows that. Each of you will proclaim that. And I'm going to tell you what, the ancestors are going to haunt you because of that. Every time this happens, we see you sit idly by. We see you not say anything. Or you might offer a performative condolence. Sounds a little bit like 1924 to me. And again, you have a posture that is telling you that this is somehow normal. So the last thing that I'm going to say is for each and every one of you that wants to look down at your computer while community is talking to you, I recommend that you stop it, because it makes your jawline look racist.
Eliza Lucero.
Hello, my name is Eliza Lucero. I'm an organizer with the Party for Socialism and Liberation. I'm here with this community to speak out against APD's repeated pattern of being the most violent and notorious gang in Aurora, who continuously murders unarmed members of our community with impunity. You will continue to hear about Kylin Lewis, a man whose life was unjustly taken by 12-year Officer Deke of APD. And the people here know that this is not the first time APD has murdered unarmed black men in this city. We remember and we do not forgive you for Elijah McClain. We remember, we do not forgive you for Jordell Richardson. And we are also righteously outraged that APD has continued to exist and terrorize this city's black and brown community and the poor and working class and immigrant communities that live here. We come to ask that the City Council not treat this murder with the disregard that Elijah McClain's murder was treated with. You should not sweep this case under the rug or make excuses telling us that you don't have power to do something. This council should be working alongside Kylin's family every day, doing everything that is in your power to get them justice. The consent decree that APD is already under from the 2020 investigation is clearly not enough to ensure APD ceases to have pattern and practice of racism and excessive force. We need to see real change in this police department. We need to see real accountability, not just 118-page documents telling us what many of us already knew, which is that APD will kill unarmed, nonviolent black men and not face any consequences. We reject any characterization of Kylin as a violent or suspicious man. What we know and have seen with our own eyes is that Kylin was unarmed, that he put his hands in the air and said, "I don't got nothing." We reject any attempts to try to justify the crime of murder committed by Officer Deke, and we reject the notion that a check sent from the city of Aurora to this family is justice. We want criminal charges. So again, this council should be working tirelessly alongside this family to get justice for Kylin Lewis. This council should be putting every possible pressure on the DA, on the Attorney General, on the APD chief to make sure this officer is not on your taxpayers' payroll anymore and is facing charges just as anyone else would be if they had pulled that trigger. Don't continue your legacy of being complicit in these murders as you were with Elijah McClain. Justice for Kylin Lewis, and all power to the people.
Brandon Gerke. Brandon Gerke.
Don't shoot.
Beware.
Say his name. Kylin Lewis. Say his name. Kylin Lewis. off with a prayer for justice of all members of this community. And I'm here to tell you that your thoughts and prayers are meaningless if you do nothing to change the systems that you uphold. Each and every one of you are complicit in the murder of Kylan Lewis. And many more. We have been here for years throughout the murder of Elijah McClain, Jordell Richardson, and yet this continues to happen. It is obvious that the police are not here to protect the people. They are an occupying force in our community. They are here, the police are here to protect private property. And I ask you, whose side are you on? It is obvious that you are not on the side of the people. You are on the side of private property and your own interests. Now, we have all seen the body cam footage while these police officers ran up in unmarked vehicles, did not announce themselves, and Kylan Lewis was unarmed, saying, "I don't have nothing.
I ain't got nothing.
I ain't got nothing."
I ain't got nothing.
And every single time we come here, I have not seen a single word of what you're going to do next. It is obvious that this is performative, and we will be back here every single council meeting to tell you and put the people in power, not you. Because the people, the community, should be making these decisions. And it is obvious that this officer needs to be put in jail. It is obvious that justice needs to be served for this family. And this dangerous cop should not be allowed to continue to walk freely. The cycle of violence continues from Aurora Police Department and remains unchanged. And we call on this council to do the right thing. Say his name! Kylan Lewis! Say his name! Kylan Lewis! Say his name! Kylan Lewis! Say his name! Kylan Lewis!
Kiawa Lewis.
You know what? Oh, thank you. As I approach this stand, I think I'm the more humble one. Like, y'all really don't see the storm that's actually manifesting. Y'all pissed off so many people. And the thing is, I want to tell y'all right now, the way the people look at y'all is not good. I'm not posing any threats, but what I'm saying is they're getting so tired because just like we're citizens, so are y'all. Y'all don't have no capes. Y'all have a status, and that's it. Y'all got Karen back here talking about some bullshit. And the thing is, it's like people say all lives matter, but not everybody is dying every single day. They're not dying every single hour. They're not getting killed. I mean, in America at least, us as the chosen, we're getting executed. We are. Yet y'all do nothing about it. Oh, guess what? We're getting tired. We are. The thing is, when we become silent, it's something that y'all need to start worrying about. When y'all don't hear us no more, get very concerned. Right now is our forewarning. This is what it is, because we're growing tired. We can't trust these people that y'all elect to protect us. We can't trust anybody that is behind these chairs. Y'all may say, oh, I only can do so much. I only can do so much. My hands are tied. Bullshit. Seriously. Right now, like I said, I'm one of the most humble ones that y'all will run into. The steam, the pressure cooking is cooking. And things are about to be done to where it explodes. This is no threat. This is a warning. This is a warning that all of us are getting tired, whether it's our Caucasian people, our African American people, our Native American people, our Asian people, our Latino people. All of us are getting tired because y'all fuck up so bad. Y'all do. And I will say this, for Mike Kaufman, I will say, forgive me, because the last time I was here, I said, fuck you, right? You probably heard it, but didn't pay no attention. But the thing is, I have to ask you for forgiveness because the things that you're facing is way more deadlier than I could ever propose. I'm not that person. Like y'all sit up here and say these prayers and the Pledge of Allegiance. Honestly, this country is built on so much racism. Everything is just so messed up about this country. But yet, y'all are the same ones that uphold everything because y'all sit at home, drink your little lattes and sit up in front of a fireplace and watch Care Bears and Skittles. Like it's all good. The thing is, I'm telling y'all, heed the warning. Y'all don't understand. As y'all kill God's chosen people, I promise you, burning eternity in hell, it's coming.
Angelia Baker.
I'm going to start with, I'm an Aurora resident, and I'm looking this direction for a reason. My sister, I fought for your son when he was in a position. I wanted to wear a different shirt today because I wanted you to see and to feel not only what Stefan Long, yes, that's Denver, went through, but the compassion and the consideration and every background that I bent over to make sure you were sitting behind that seat. It belittles me to even call you my friend. It hurts me to the core that you gave something to my mother on her dying day. But I fought for you. I fought for you when community would not even uplift your name for singing the wrong lyrics in a song. I fought for you when your son was fighting his own battle. I never turned my back. This family of Kylan Lewis has had their backs turned on you, Ruben Medina, on you, Allison Coombs, on you, Angela Lawson, and the rest of you. Danielle Jerinsky, when you were fighting a social worker, I come from the same background. I stood for you and your beliefs. And what did you do for community? Nothing. You had your day in court, and you won.
Tell the truth.
Mayor Kaufman, you say you serve this country. Sir, that smirk on your face tells me all that I need to know. It is not within you. Liberty and justice for who? Not for all. We need to make changes, and the first change that you have the power to do is to change the City of Aurora sign that says the diversest city ever. We are not diverse. Diversity only aligns within in your bedroom, when you're behind closed doors. Steve Sundberg is not here for me to say, you got a black relative, you got a black friend, so what, you all have one. And you say it's not about race, it is about race tonight. It is about race. When you can say you're the diverse city ever, that's the first thing you need to change. You say you have power, change it, because you're lying. You're lying. I stood before you before asking you to do something for the residents. You did nothing, Angela. You never called me back. I never talked to you, and I reside in your ward.
Come on, Sarah.
So it hurts me to stand here to fight for Kylan Lewis. I'm the person that usually goes quiet into the night. I stay in the background. But today, I will not close my eyes to you, Stephanie. It hurts me to look at you as I fought for your son, Michael.
Robbie DeYoung. Robbie DeYoung.
tonight?
Robbie DeYoung.
I really debated getting up here and saying anything. I'm going to say one thing to the audience. I don't care who you are. Now listen to me.
Speak to the council. Council will take a 10-minute recess. Meeting is back in session. So that the,
Simmons. Alverta Simmons.
who's I think the individual is going to finish, and then we'll call you up. Okay, Robbie, come to the microphone and address the council, not the audience.
Exactly.
Yes.
Thank you for having your check.
Okay, I apologize. Sorry, folks. What I was going to say had to do with stolen cars and vandalized vehicles. And I'll tell you what, if your car was stolen or vandalized, I'm going to be the first person there that's going to do whatever they can to help you. That's why I run the group Next Door Stolen and Vandalized Vehicles in Colorado. I've been doing this for almost 3 years now, where I care about everyone and their vehicle being with them and not with someone else that it doesn't belong to. And I don't care who you are, where you're from, whatever. If your car is stolen, it concerns me. And I want to be there to help people out that have lost something that is important to them. And that's what I was going to say. I wasn't going to say anything else. I was going to say I'm there for everyone. I don't care who they are. I don't care whether we agree on everything or not. I'm there for everyone. And that's what I was up here to say in the first place. That's all I was going to say.
Thank you.
All cars matter. All cars matter. All cars
Wow.
It's not going to
giving honor to God. First of all, I want to give my condolences to the Lewis family. You can see how angry they are and hurt that their loved one is not here with them. That young man should have been tried by 12, not carried by 6. And so at the end of the day, I've been here before you all, and I'm just as passionate about Preston Nunn III, the one that y'all beat to the ground, beat to the white meat of his head. You hog-tied him. You tased him 5 times. The white police officer, female, she did the George Floyd move and put her foot on his neck and held it down. The other officer, the heavyset guy, he did the karate hold. I done told y'all 100 times, the karate hold is banned by the city of Aurora, but yet he did it. Yet he did it. And then Officer Nesser, the guy who pulled the gun out, you know what he told Preston? I should have shot you. I thank God that I'm not here like these folks are. They're hurt because their loved one is gone. See, the reason the media doesn't give us the same kind of love is because Preston is alive. He ain't dead. He's able to tell his story, so you all ought to listen. When this man tells y'all how he was beat, how he was hog-tied, how he was mistreated, and y'all have not gotten, one of those officers have not been decertified. I asked Phil Weiser, the Attorney General, I said, Phil, You ought to decertify those officers, all 6 of them. I thought we had a friend in you, Danielle. I thought we did, but apparently we don't. And I damn sure don't understand why we ain't got a friend in our sister over here. I don't understand this for the life of me. But I don't understand it. But let me just say this. The Aurora police, for some reason or another, y'all hate black people. I don't know why black people stay in y'all city. Y'all don't like us. We have not done anything to you all but be productive citizens. Whatever happens out there, y'all are not judge, jury, and executioner. You should have gave that man an opportunity, but you didn't. You took his life. I thank God, one more time, keep saying it over and over, because I'm a Christian. I'm a Baptist. I thank God that Preston Nunn is alive, and he's not dead, and we're not preparing for a funeral. We're preparing for a trial. We go to trial September 23rd, and I hope that your listeners have the same feeling and pain that we have as a family. And I stand with you all, Lewis, but I got to fight too. I got 2 fights in Aurora that I'm dealing with, but I stand with you all. God bless you. We'll keep fighting.
HB.
We ain't forgot about you, Preston. We ain't forgot about you. Just keep loving you.
Say his name. Say his name. Of course, Aurora has a bunch of different, like, diverse cultures and stuff, right? But when I look at the sign of diversity that's on the Aurora, like, government symbols, it seems so hypocritical, because every time I look up, the police are not protecting and serving. They're terrorizing and taking away from our community. And it seems like y'all don't get it. It seems like y'all don't care about us. And the track record really proves that. I got an autistic daughter, and I'm like, God forbid somebody calls the police or something because she's having a meltdown and is not understanding commands. I'm afraid the police might blow her damn head off just because of that. I'm not too concerned about people breaking in my house. I'm not concerned about the gangs. I'm not concerned about substance misuse because I work in the mental health field. I'm concerned about the police taking the lives of one of my children or myself or my wife in this community. That's what I think exasperates crime, is the police. They make me feel more terrorized than the quote-unquote people y'all call criminals. I just wish that... It seems like the police force started off as a culture where the core was implicit bias. They don't seem like they're trauma-informed, and accountability needs to happen. Nothing less than charges against that police officer that killed Mr. Lewis will not satisfy this. Charges need to be filed, period. Period. Say his name.
KDOT. KDOT.
Tried to tell you, community run shit. Y'all don't. So y'all better start waking up and really understand that our family is hurting right now, and you guys are just sitting there with blank stares on your face. Angela, you gotta do better. There's been several times I've called you about certain issues. and you have not returned my phone call. Sister, you got to do better. You got to. This is you. This part of you right here. This us. You got to do better. Just like you did better as far as Elijah McClain, you got to do better. I don't know if you guys seen the same body-worn camera that I seen, but that was absolute murder. My cousin died over a fucking cell phone, literally. And then you smear his name to the public. You didn't even get that right. This 63-year-old was fucking blind. Blind. Legally blind. Then there was a witness that said that he was mentally unstable.
You put that out there.
How do you fuck that up? Stephanie Hancock and your black ass. Damn it. The hell is wrong with you, lady?
They don't care.
Remember when I first told you that I will hold you accountable? Today's that fucking day, lady. I'm gonna be on your ass like white on rice, just like the rest of these. I am disgusted with you. Disgusted. Because this is you too.
You know, real family.
We want charges brought up on this officer.
Now.
Immediately. And Mike Coffin, you just need to go ahead and resign, sir.
Yeah,
just resign. Not once have you reached out to the family and apologized. At least the chief did that, but you didn't even go to the family and, I'm sorry for your loss. Did you do that once? No. Not once. Did y'all get any phone calls? No. But you're supposed to be the leader of the city? You a goddamn joker.
He is a joker.
You look like a fucking clown. It's time for you to resign.
Yeah, get out of there.
Crystal, I appreciate you stepping up to this man earlier as far as our speech being heard. I appreciate that. Thank you. I need you to step up a little bit more, though. I need you to scream out a little louder.
It's your family now.
But at the end of the day, this young man, my cousin, needs justice. And he will get it. Or there will be no peace. And fuck your gavel. I don't give a shit about your gavel. I told you that shit before. You should already know that. It should be still up in your ass, okay? At the end of the day, my cousin needs justice. Say his name! Say his name!
Topaz McBride. Topaz McBride. Topaz McBride.
Come on, Pastor. Say his name. Say his name. Say his name. Say it again.
Take us to church. Take us to church. Take him down.
I am Pastor McBride, Topaz McBride, Social Justice Chair for the Greater Denver Ministerial Alliance. I am also a pastoral staff at Restoration Christian Fellowship. And I'm here today. First of all, let me say that what my sorority sister said earlier, I stand by everything that she said. I too stood and prayed for and fought for justice for your son, Michael. I still stand with Michael. I love Michael. I'm here to speak to anyone who is sitting behind this seat who took their oath serious. If there be someone who that is, who that applies to, it is you who I am standing to speak to. We have a human being who did what he thought would save his life. He put his hands up and he made it known that he was unarmed. I want to know what you're going to do about that. There was a quick response, a speedy response, to get rid of a police chief who was standing for justice, who was standing for community. There was a speedy response to get rid of Chief Vanessa. I want to know how speedy the response is going to be to get rid of this police officer, who was the only one, by the way, who pulled his trigger. He was the only one. So if he was so justified in that shooting, why was he the only one to pull the trigger? And why is he on unpaid leave? I'm sorry, unpaid leave. I'm sorry, I meant paid leave. Your mission, allegedly, as the City of Aurora Council says, we unify diverse communities. We are a leader in creative outcomes. We are an innovator in economic development. If you are truly a leader in unifying diverse communities, where does it begin and when does it begin? I stand before you with a quote from 1963 that says, "This note was a promise that all men, yes, black men, as well as white men, would be guaranteed inalienable rights of life, liberty, and pursuit." We can't even get to liberty and pursuit because we can't get to life. I'm not an Black Lives Matter advocate. Why? Because I am a Black Lives More Than Matter advocate. We say that all lives matter, but how can all lives matter if we can't even get the basic inalienable rights for Black lives?
Come on.
So I'm here to remind you today that Kylan Lewis was a human being, a father, a brother, a son, a husband, a human being who was gunned down, murdered by one of your officers. What are you going to do about it?
Michael Gatewood.
Let me turn around. Say his name. Say his name. This is my first time in the chamber. Been in Aurora for 28 years. And I love the city of Aurora, but the city of Aurora has been in big trouble coming from another state, from Flint, Michigan. I have several people I know that's police officers on the police officers in Denver and Aurora. And a lot of the people that's on the force have told me that they're leaving the force because of several entities that's inside of your police departments. There's a brokenness inside of your system, and they see it nationally. Aurora has been pinpointed as a sundown city, and I don't know if you understand what that means. That means that in black culture, a sundown city is that anybody that's a minority, you should not be out after sundown because you have a predatorial system designed. Mayor Kaufman, I've been in meetings with you, with the churches. I'm also a pastor, and I'm also the vice president of community affairs for the Greater Ministerial Alliance. And in that meetings, I see that you shift a lot, Mayor. And in that shifting, I understand you're a politician. I get that. But you have to look at the fact that if something is broken, we have to look at it and get it fixed. The Aurora Police Department is broken, has been broken for years. You guys are in charge of that. The city manager, you guys, this is your jurisdiction. We have to fix the Aurora Police Department. I fought for this country. I went to war with some of the guys, and when I get back here, we fight together. There's no racism. We all fight together. There's one blood in the flag. But when I get back to Aurora, Colorado, our own people are dying by the hands of our own system that we fought valiantly for this country. So that being said, we have to look at the George Floyd Policing Act. This thing goes way bigger than what we see here. So now Over the years, the Aurora Police Department has had 4 chiefs in over 5 years. There is turmoil, there is dysfunction inside the police department, and now it's gotten national attention. So we got to bring in the big dogs now. We got to bring in the big dogs, and that's what we're going to do. Thank you.
Mayor, we've reached our 1 hour.
Very well.
Mayor,
Mayor.
point of order.
Councilmember Coombs.
I move to extend the time to allow all of the speakers on any subject to speak.
Moved by Councilmember Coombs,
Second.
seconded by Councilmember Murillo. Discussion? Mayor opposes. There's ability for that. They were here 2 weeks ago. They'll be here in another 2 weeks, and I would appreciate those who didn't have the opportunity to speak to be able to come back and speak 2 weeks from now. Discussion?
Mayor,
Councilmember Coombs.
they're here right now. They took the time to come here right now.
Further discussion?
Call for the
Mayor.
question.
Councilmember Murillo.
Just, we didn't used to have a time limit on public invited to be heard. That was actually a change that this council made a couple of years ago in response to the protesting that was happening. So just for context.
Further discussion?
Call for the question.
It's been moved by Councilmember Hancock. Call for the question. Is there a second? What's that? I'm sorry? Councilmember Murillo seconded?
Yes.
All right. It's call for the question.
Oh, I did not second the call for the question.
Okay. Is there a second to the motion for call for the question? The mayor seconds it. It's a non-debatable question. Call for the question.
Who seconded?
Mayor seconded it.
We ain't voting for your ass.
Get your old ass out of there. Hate this shit. The people are here. You guys work for the people. You work for the people. We pay your paycheck. That's what I'm saying. Come on. An hour? You gonna miss your chicken sandwich.
Francois, be quiet. Francois, be quiet. We don't want to hear. Our city and our community.
Are we taking the vote?
Agenda before anything else. These people don't come here every 2 weeks. We came last Thursday. You shut it down.
Yep.
We were coming to your at-large council meeting. At the time when we come, you need to listen. That's what you're elected for, to listen.
Exactly. You should want us here. You should want us here.
Yeah. If it took
That's
5
who
hours.
has the most power. You should want us here. So you're welcome.
Yeah.
Who's next on the agenda to speak? You should want us here.
What is the vote?
The vote right now is to
Mayor
call
votes
for
yes.
to call for the question, and we need, Mayor Kaufman, we need your vote.
Mayor votes yes.
Councilmember Bergen. The motion passes to end debate, call for the question to extend public invited to be heard, the 1 hour limit.
To the motion.
You want to go home, but so do my nephew. 8 seconds it took y'all to murder my nephew on his knees. And you want to sit here and talk about order this, order that. I watched him go down in a ground. I watched him be put in a coffin. Do you understand this? This is not child's play. 8 seconds to kill him. No children will celebrate Christmas, birthdays. Do you understand? Do you understand? This is pain. This is what outrage looks like.
Mayor votes yes.
I'm pissed off.
You work for the people, Mayor. Y'all work for the people.
To vote.
Show some humanity and let them finish their time. You want to have them come back every week to do this, every 2 weeks?
An hour is not long enough. An hour is not long enough, Mayor.
Mayor Kaufman, how would you like to vote?
Mayor votes yes. Yes.
Councilmember Bergen?
Well, it's call for the question. So now we're to the motion.
What are we voting on?
Yes.
This is to extend the 1 hour.
I'm sorry, I'm voting no to extend the time.
You just said yes.
Rules up.
I'm voting
Councilmember
no to
Bergen?
extend the time.
No.
The motion does not pass with 4 yes votes, 7 no votes from Mayor Kaufman, Councilmember Bergen, Councilmember Gardner, Councilmember Hancock, Councilmember Drinsky, Councilmember Sundberg, and Mayor Pro Tem Zvonek.
Question before us is the adoption of the agenda. A motion is in order.
You ain't worth the shit, man.
That's okay, let's take it over. Say his name!
Let's approve the agenda. Sunburn. To approve the agenda. Sunburn. Is this working?
Council back in session.
Mayor,
No, Councilmember Jornsky?
I motion to allow the last 9 to speak.
Okay. Moved by Councilmember Jornsky, seconded by?
Mayor, I'll second.
Seconded by Councilmember Lawson. Discussion?
Mayor, just want to make clear that somebody on the majority side had to move to bring it back. Just procedure for y'all to know. Thank you for clarifying what I just said.
Seeing no further discussion, call for the question on the motion.
Mayor.
Mayor votes yes.
Katie, I'm a yes. I just don't have my computer up.
Councilmember Coombs?
Yes.
Councilmember Hancock?
Yes.
Councilmember Sundberg?
If you can hear me.
Yes. The motion passes with 8 yes votes to extend public invited to be heard. So we
Please proceed.
have the next speaker, Sabrina McKinney.
And there will be no additional names added.
Sabrina McKinney. Okay. Preston Nunn. Katie Leonard.
Could you add some water? Thanks.
Hello, I'm an organizer with the Party for Socialism and Liberation. After the Aurora police killed Elijah McClain, an unarmed black man in 2019, after the Aurora police killed Jordell Richardson, another unarmed black boy, 14 years old, just last year, after the Aurora police murdered Kylan Lewis, another unarmed black man, just last month, it is abundantly clear. Despite its toothless consent decree, the Aurora Police Department continues to be a racist lynch mob, a lawless gang, really, who, if it were up to you all, would continue to kill unarmed black people without consequence. A 112-page document published in 2021 by investigators appointed by the Attorney General found that the Aurora Police Department has a pattern and practice of racially biased policing, excessive use of force, and failing to record required information when it interacts with the community. If you are not white, you are 2.5 times more likely to be met with excessive force by APD than if you are white, which explains why APD took James Holmes to Burger King immediately after killing 12 people and injuring 70 others, and on the other hand, murdered Kylan Lewis for holding a cell phone. I actually heard that APD followed Kylan around for 2 days before they murdered him. This excessive surveillance and deadly force, it's supposed to intimidate us, supposed to scare us, make us stay at home. But we are here to let you know that we aren't scared, are we? No. We are outraged, and we demand justice. We're not here to plead with you. If it were up to you all, you would call recess and go home and let APD continue to kill unarmed black people with impunity. The only reason there has been even a hint, and I mean just a sprinkle of justice, when it comes to racist police lynchings here in Aurora is because we the people come out here and demand it. Not because of you all, because of us. And we are here again, unfortunately, to demand that Officer Deek is immediately taken off paid leave, fired, and charged with murder for killing Kylan Lewis. There is no world is no world where someone should be put on paid leave after committing murder. Being paid with that person's family's tax dollars. Can you imagine?
That's right.
And then you all sit here and you want to give us an hour. You should be ashamed of yourself.
That's right.
You should be ashamed of yourself. This family has lost a family member. And you can't even sit here for more than an hour to listen to them. Well, I have news for you. We'll be back. We demand justice for Kylie Lewis.
Amen.
I want to know why Stephanie Hancock's husband was appointed as the battle care on reclaiming my time for every time you silence our community. And I mean it. Stephanie, why is your husband, now the director of the CAC, also an employee of the city of Aurora? That is a conflict of interest, and you are allowing it. A sitting council member's husband will now be the director of the Community Advisory Council on the Consent Decree Committee? If this is not corrupt, I don't know what is. You are corrupt, you are out of line, and the fact that you are allowing these things to happen is absolutely absurd. You are not carrying out the wishes of our community, and you are not working the best interests of our community, getting your husband positioned for another position so you can move positions, because all you give a shit about is politics. And I told you, outside of my home, you will fail, you will fail, you will fail. All of you will. This is unbelievable. It is against the Constitution, and you do not follow it. But you stand in reverence to this flag
Come
and
on.
say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Get her,
You
move
do
her out
not
of here.
follow our own Constitution. You do not. Stephanie, I hope you don't sleep tonight. I hope you don't. Not you trying to sing your game. You don't tell me when I speak. And if you ain't figured that out yet, you might want to figure it out today.
Mark?
That's when I see your ugly ass smirks. And I'm tired. I have sat back and watched all of you desecrate this.
Who's the next speaker?
All of you.
Mark Monroe.
Talking about, I don't care about your gavel.
Okay.
You don't run me. I have the right to speak. I have lived in this city all my
Please
life. You don't run me. We pay for this. And when these officers kill our community,
Start his time now.
we pay for it. We pay for it. Not start his time now.
Yes.
First of all, I want to say this. I'm really disappointed in the council to put a meeting like this on a time schedule for an hour. First of all, you guys work for the people. My dad fought in the war for 34 years for this country. And you know what I feel? I feel like we're still living in slavery from way back then, because you sit there, you get your paycheck, you go home. You're not showing the people that you care. And most of the people up on this council, really what I'm seeing, you don't care. Because you would have voted, yes, we're going to listen to the people. Because the people are the ones that's paying your paycheck. I was victimized at my house, called the police. Took them 2 hours to show up. I get knocked out and robbed in front of my house. I called the detective. He makes a case. Here it is right here. Okay? I call him back. He says, I moved on. You got to find someone else to investigate my case. Okay? So I just spent $40,000 of my retirement. I'm 66 years old now. The dude they attacked me, come and tear my car up. I call y'all. You know who they pulled the gun on? Me. I went to jail. I paid $40,000 for an attorney to agree with the district attorney that's got me on probation for 7 years. I ain't got a criminal record. He got a record everywhere. So where is the justice? So this is what I'm saying. You're not working for the people. All you work for is get your check, drive in your nice new car, and leave us hanging. That's why the system is what it is. Look at the people. They're not here to be upset. They're here because they're hurting. They're actually hurting. Can you hear us? Can you feel this? I mean, if you don't get it fixed, it's only going to get worse. I voted for you 20 years ago. I used to work for the police department as a courier with Leon. I worked with Bernard and painted this building. I worked at the Aurora Parks. I helped cut all the damn weeds down. And then I get attacked and I don't get no support. I'm crying for some help. I don't know about no criminal system, because all I've been doing since I was a kid was working my butt off. And then we got an hour. That's horrible.
Should have just.
When are you going to listen to the people? You guys need to take a good look at yourself and think about it. If it was your nephew or your niece or your brother or your cousin, how would you feel? Huh? White, black, pink, green, whatever. All our blood is red. We are God's children. And that's what you need to start to look at. And I know you can't wait to get me off. My time up, my time up. You know what? My time was up when I was born in this motherfucking racist-ass world. You know? And for you to ever deny the people an hour of your time, that means you don't need your job anymore, sir. You don't need your job anymore. If you can't listen to the people and see the people out here and think about it in your mind and show some concern or care, means that you don't want that job no more. You didn't got what you get? Like Clarence Thomas sitting on there that ain't getting shit, like the sister sitting over here ain't doing nothing. We get one selected token and we pay them on the table and they don't do shit for nobody. It's all about they self. So you need to check that. Don't put us on no time limit.
Nate. Nate Casa. Nate.
My dad was out there fighting for this goddamn country.
Nate Casa.
Which one is he? He's fifth?
Good evening, Council. My name is Nate Casa. I'm an Aurora resident of more than a decade, and I'm an organizer with the Party for Socialism and Liberation. And I'm here to demand justice for Kylan Lewis. And I think we need to recount some facts. I'm here because the Aurora Police Department is corrupt to its core, and unless residents like us come out and say it, I know that APD will try to withhold justice for Kylan and his community. As a reminder, in 2021, the Attorney General released a report stating that the APD violated state and federal laws through a pattern of racially biased policing and use of excessive force, AKA what we already knew, APD is racist. So then the city reached a consent decree with the Attorney General, paying IntegraSure more than $4.5 million of our money in February 22 to monitor its progress on dozens of mandates. The Monitor, in their third progress report of the police department, wrote that they, quote, continue to also have concerns about the apparent reluctance of APD through its Force Review Board to critically assess use of force. For example, in the case of Preston Nunn III, as someone mentioned before, in 2021, Aurora police officer Gabriel Nestor pulled his gun on Preston, who reached into his clothing after being told to hand over his driver's license and registration. Once police backup arrived, Officer Nestor exited his car, tackled Preston to the ground, and shocked him with a stun gun. The police department's Force Review Board, which is just APD, evaluated the incident the next month and determined that Officer Nestor made a legal traffic stop and used his body-worn camera appropriately, but, quote, could have been more professional, and, quote, more in control of himself. Again, the independent Monitor criticized APD and the Force Review Board, saying, simply put, the board's review should have been much more critical with every aspect of how that occurred. That's the independent board that y'all hired from IntegraSure. So what we already knew, APD murders unarmed black people. They murdered Kylan with his hands up. And when Elijah McClain was murdered in August 2019, the police department said their usual smokescreen: there will be an investigation. The time for investigations is over. It's long over. Aurora watched, we all watched, as officials sat idle after Elijah was murdered. We watched when 6 months after his murder, the Force Review Board finished their investigation and said, quote, the officers had a lawful reason to make contact with Elijah McClain, and that force applied was within existing policy and consistent with training. A corrupt department investigating itself will never find its wrongdoings. We demand justice for Kylan Lewis. APD needs to release the entire unedited body cam footage. We already saw the edited cut version, and that told us all we need to know. But if they're so scared, if everything's all right, then why don't they release the whole thing? Wow. Fire Officer Michael Deek. Thank you.
What's that?
Bruno Tapia.
People are tired.
Say his name. Hello, I'm a lifelong resident of Aurora, and I'm here to speak in outrage over the murder of Kylan Lewis. I was here in August of 2019 when this room was packed week after week with outraged community members, many of the same people that are here today, repeating many of the exact same demands and same words that are being repeated today. But then it was about Elijah McClain, and now it's about Kylan Lewis. This went on for months and months, from August to September, October, November, and the city council did nothing. The city council pulled a lot of the same stuff that you're pulling now, and acting like outraged, grieving family members are an assault against you. And that was many of the same city council members that sit here today. There's some new ones now. But the strategy was to wait until the story had been swept under the rug, and you were hoping that it would go away quietly. This Thursday will be 4 years since thousands of peaceful protesters gathered for a violent vigil honoring Elijah McClain right outside this building. And those demonstrators were brutalized by the Aurora Police Department. So it is unbelievable that 4 years later, once again, the community has to gather here to demand justice for another unarmed black man murdered by the Aurora Police Department. It wasn't until that violent vigil happened that the city council stepped into action. Why? Because there was a mass movement of thousands of people in the streets demanding justice, and there was a spotlight from all over the world on Aurora, on the city and on the police department. It wasn't until Aurora became an international example of racism and police brutality in America that the city council stepped up and started doing anything. Not even the most that they could do, but just anything, with the independent investigation that then led to this consent decree. Is that what it takes to get action? Does it have to become the shining example of the world, of the racism of our city, to get a serious response? The community has been demanding accountability from this police department for too long, and you have to treat this with the highest urgency. You cannot, and APD cannot return Kylan to his family. So you must work to at least bring justice to his family and to start holding these killer cops accountable. Michael Deek sits comfortably at home on administrative leave when he should be sitting behind bars. Say his name.
Sue the city!
Taj.
Give it to him. Sue the city. Then they'll get it. Take some money out of their pocket. Then they'll get it. Let them have it.
I shouldn't have to ask, but I do ask that y'all give me y'all's undivided attention. Unfortunately, y'all been ignoring us, trying to be on your computers and stuff. Not appropriate. This is a meeting that you all set for us, for your people that put you in the chair. So you listen very attentively. As you expected my brother to comply, I expect you to do the very same thing. Y'all gave my brother 8 seconds to comply with 4 different officers screaming at him. Different things. Not only was he compliant, but on his way down, your officer decided to shoot my brother and kill him. If my brother would have done the same thing, the same urgency that y'all used to come and get my brother is the same urgency that I expect for y'all to be using to go pick this officer up. There shouldn't be no reason that we got to come in here and shut your meeting down in order for y'all to listen. It shouldn't take that. Not only is my family hurting, y'all got plenty of black families out here hurting. You should really be ashamed of your goddamn self. You sitting up here, you have not even there's no emotion in your eyes. It's dead. Wake the fuck up, because guess what? When it's you, they gonna be just as silent. You see how we had to come and step for your ass. Ain't nobody up here stepped for you, and if they did it in the privacy of their home or on the phone with you. Ain't nobody publicly coming to save you. Your people gonna be the one to do it. But guess what? Y'all literally have y'all gang unit in this motherfucker surrounding us like they just didn't take my brother out. The craziest thing, over public communication. Y'all got these police in here with their guns, ready for action. This is a fucking public place. What the fuck we need action for? The action that should be put on anybody in this room is to arrest that officer. Do y'all see my brother? That could be y'all's son. That could be y'all's daughter. For 8 seconds. Y'all talk about transparency and what y'all want. Y'all edited the video. It was only 8 seconds. What you need to edit it for? If that officer is so right and y'all believe in exactly what he did and it was justified, ain't no need for no edits. Y'all should just put it out there and put it on the floor. You stand there with a blank stare, Mike Coffin, or whatever your name is. That's where you're going to be in a minute because your ass is old. Okay? You want to put your rules and press your rules on us? Your ass is about how old? I'm sure when slavery just stopped, your ass got in office or got in power and position. You're not fit to make the fucking rules for us because you don't give a damn about us and you ain't gonna make no rules right for us. Y'all act like y'all give a fuck and y'all sitting in these seats. If something ain't done about my brother, I'm gonna make it my business to be on y'all's ass. Y'all won't be sitting here. I won't be having to talk to you. I could talk to somebody who give a fuck about these black lives. There's no reason that none of y'all are moved by none of this. No reason. Y'all want to stand united together, but what about the people that put y'all here? We stood united to put y'all there. Just like we're going to stand united to take y'all's ass out. So y'all better do what y'all got to do.
Aaron Futrell. Aaron Futrell.
Good evening, Council. Oh, it's been a night. Most of you guys know I come from a family that loves Aurora. Aurora's supposed to be beautiful, but tonight it's ugly. There's some cops that are good, but then there's some cops that are bad. People accuse me of being woke. I'm not woke. I'm tired of coming up here and supporting families that lost people. I said it the last time that I was up here that I can be just as loud. That sit-in that caused a recess, that was my idea that spread like a wildfire because voices needed to be heard, because Kylan Lewis was silenced because of a damn cell phone, And that's a shame. I know there are people on the dais that absolutely care. I'm not saying that you guys don't care. I sat and watched the study session on the way to council tonight to speak. You guys spoke about crime and how you wanted to stop crime. If you wanted to stop crime, how come the officer hasn't been arrested? Justice for Kylan.
Okay, we have one caller on the call-in line.
Rhonda, go ahead. You have 3 minutes.
I am here. I'm here. Okay. I think that the Aurora Police, first of all, let me start off with this. I think that the Aurora Police Department should be made liable to pay all the expenses that were incurred by Kylan's family, including funeral, rallies, marches, posters, airfare for people who have to travel in and out the state, and et cetera. There's no way the family should be out of pocket for these expenses when the APD officer unjustly took this family loved one's life. There's no way they should be paying. And tell me, since when is it okay for officers to get a vacation after unlawfully murdering an unarmed person? This shouldn't be protocol. Laws are long overdue for change. To take it a step further, Aurora Police Department edited the body cam footage so the public could only see what they wanted them to see, which to make Kylan look like a criminal, which he isn't. But that was to be expected from APD. Nothing less. Attorney General, DA, Mayor, and all the higher-ups took a sworn oath, including the police officers too, took a sworn oath to uphold the law. So I demand that all of you do just that. I demand Officer Geek be charged, convicted, and sentenced to the Department of Corrections, 25 plus years for premeditated first-degree murder. He will be held, he should, and he will be held accountable for his unjustly actions. Now, we here in Georgia have seen body cam already, and we're not happy with what is going on in Aurora, Colorado. We're not happy, and we will be making stands coming there to Aurora, Colorado to stand up for Kylen Lewis and his family. We will go extra miles if we have to march to the White House, involve whoever we can involve to make this right and to make sure that Officer Geek get his day in court, that he's tried, convicted, and sentenced. Because since is it okay for any police officer to murder an unarmed person, a person that didn't pose threat to him, no way, no how, as all the other officers looked at him as he took that shot. So therefore, they already told off on their own person when they with that look they had on their face.
LaRonda, your time is up.
Just do? Okay, we will stand and fight for Kylen Lewis. We will take justice. No justice, no peace. Say his name, Kylen Lewis. Justice is going to stand and come to Colorado to stand for this family.
Motion is in order for the adoption of the agenda.
Mayor,
Councilmember Coombs.
so moved.
Moved by Councilmember Coombs, seconded by
Zvonek.
Councilmember Sundberg to adopt the agenda. Next issue before us is... What's that? Oh, okay.
Mayor.
Councilmember Jornsky.
Motion to approve items 10A through 10-6C.
Second.
Discussion on the motion on the agenda. Is there further discussion on the adoption of the agenda? Seeing none, question before us is the adoption of the agenda. Call for the question.
Mayor, how would you like to vote?
Mayor votes yes.
Councilmember Coombs?
Next
Wait, Mayor, I'm
question
sorry.
before us. What's that?
Councilmember Coombs, how would you like to vote?
Sorry.
Councilmember Sundberg?
Next question before us is, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah,
What's that?
Thank you. The motion passes to adopt the agenda.
it's not coming through.
Mayor votes yes. Okay. Okay, next question before us is the adoption of the consent calendar on motions, item number 10C1 to 10C6.
Mayor,
Yes.
Mayor,
I'm sorry.
I'd like to pull item 10C6.
Very well.
Yeah, she just wants to postpone it.
That wasn't the one she wanted.
Further discussion?
Mayor,
Yeah,
I just
Councilmember Jornsky.
want to clarify, you want to pull the one that's my direct appointment to the Fox Art Center?
Yeah.
Okay.
question,
Okay.
because
Okay.
that's what I asked you about earlier.
Okay. Okay, so the question before us is the adoption of the,
We need a motion and a second to adopt the consent calendar with item 10C6 pulled.
Okay. Further discussion?
Need a motion.
Okay.
Mayor? Motion to approve items 10C1 through 10C5.
Second.
Moved by Mayor Pro Tem, seconded by Councilmember Coombs to approve item number 10C1 through 10C5. Discussion? Seeing no further discussion, call for the question on the adoption of the consent calendar for motions, item number 10C1 through 10C5.
Mayor,
Mayor votes yes.
Councilmember Coombs?
Yes, it looks like my stuff is frozen.
Okay. The motion passes to adopt the consent calendar, item 10C1 through 10C5.
Clerk, please read the title to item number 10C6.
10C6 is council direct appointment of one member to the Aurora Fox Arts Center Board.
Councilmember Hancock.
I wanted to pull this because I had a question about the roles and responsibilities of the Arts Council, and I needed more information. I asked for the information, but I didn't get it in the time of this meeting, so I wanted to push it to the next council meeting.
Okay, so you want to continue to July 8th? So a motion to continue to July 8th?
Yes, please.
Okay. It's been moved by Councilmember Hancock, seconded by Councilmember Rio, to move item number 10C6 to July 8th. Discussion?
Mayor?
Councilmember Coombs?
In that process, can we also get some information about what permits council members to make a direct appointment instead of going through the staff and commission process?
Well, you can put in an interrogatory for that. I don't know if we need to include that in the same motion. Jack?
Katie, is that something we can address at the next meeting?
Yes, we can address it on the July 8th, or we can cover it
Maybe
now.
would a memo be appropriate?
Katie, do you want to just answer the question now?
Yeah, I can with the city attorney's assistance. Council is able to bring forward any item that they choose to a city council meeting, and then council can decide to vote yes or no on this item. So if you do not agree with it, you can vote no, and then they wouldn't be appointed. The Aurora Fox Arts Center would still hold their interviews.
Very well. Further discussion? Seeing none, call for the question on the adoption of item number 10C6.
Mayor Kaufman?
Mayor votes yes.
Sorry.
Councilmember Coombs?
clarification, That's not to adopt it, but to move it to July 8th, right?
Oh, that's correct.
Correct.
To the Hancock motion to move it to July 8th.
I'll vote yes. eScribe is still not working correctly.
Okay. The motion passes to move this item to July 8th.
The next item is the consent calendar resolutions and ordinances, item number 11A1 through 11B4. Motion is in order.
Mayor?
Mayor Pro Tem.
Motion to move items 11A1 through 11B4.
It's been moved by Mayor Pro Tem, seconded by? Seconded by Councilmember Hancock.
Mayor.
To move item number 11A1 through 11B4. Further discussion? Seeing none, call for the question on the adoption of the motion for the consent calendar resolutions and ordinances, item number 11A1 through 11B4.
That's right. She knows the
Mayor Pro Tem?
She knows the person. She wants some.
Mayor, thank you. The motion passes to adopt the consent calendar for resolutions and ordinances.
Clerk, now please read the title to item number 12A.
Item 12A is a public hearing, consideration of a resolution 2024-60, approving the inclusion of real property into the boundaries of Eagles Nest Metro District.
Public hearing is now open. Presentation by staff, which I believe is virtual.
Yes, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tresarina Dancy, Manager of the Office of Development Assistance. This item is a request from the Eagles Nest Metropolitan District to include property into the boundaries of the district. This metropolitan district has completed the financing of its public infrastructure and has paid all outstanding debt. However, the district does need to remain intact in order to impose the remaining ARI mill levy and remit that to the city. The current board of directors has expressed a desire to step away from the board, and there are no other interested individuals currently qualified to serve on the board. As such, the district is requesting to include additional property into the boundaries of the district for the sole purpose of qualifying new board members. The owners of the property also desire to be on the board for the sole purpose of continuity of the board and to continue to certify the ARI mill levy as required by the service plan. We do have district counsel available on the meeting for questions, but they do not have a presentation prepared.
So no presentation by the applicant?
That's correct.
Is there anybody who wishes to be heard on this issue?
No.
Are there any questions of staff?
Mayor.
Councilmember Coombs?
So can we just clarify who are the folks that are going to be members of the board for the purposes of maintaining the ARI mill levy? Like, are they residents? Are they representatives from the developer? Just for clarification.
No, they are residents of the city and they own the property. There are 3 property owners of the property that is being requested to be included into the district.
Thank you.
Further questions of staff? Seeing none, the public hearing is now closed and a motion is in order.
Mayor.
Councilmember Coombs.
Move to approve item 12A.
Moved by Councilmember Coombs, seconded by?
Mayor, second.
Seconded by Councilmember Lawson to approve item number 12A. Discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of item number 12A. Call for the question.
The motion passes to adopt Resolution 2024-60.
Will the clerk now please read the title to item number 12B?
Item 12B is a public hearing consideration of ordinance 2024-31, amending section 146.335S3 of the Uniform Development Ordinance pertaining to the hours of operation for retail marijuana stores.
Public hearing is now open. Presentation by staff.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. My name is Brandon Camerata, manager in the City Planning Department. Tonight, I'm presenting an amendment to the Unified Development Ordinance, City's zoning code. This amendment, if approved, would extend the operating hours of retail marijuana stores, allowing them to serve their customers until 12 a.m. daily instead of the current requirement to close by 10 p.m. This amendment would be accomplished by removing the hours of operation limitation from section 146.335S in the UDO and to rely on state requirements which limit hours of operation for retail marijuana to 8 a.m. to 12 a.m. Multiple jurisdictions in the, Mayor. Multiple jurisdictions in the metro area are already open until 12 a.m., and this proposal would allow stores to have the same options for hours of operation as competing stores in neighboring or surrounding jurisdictions. The approach to this proposal was coordinated and reviewed with the City of Aurora Licensing Department. Also, a public hearing at the Planning Commission was held June 12th. Planning Commission recommended unanimously the approval of the ordinance. Planning Commission cited compliance with UDO approval criteria. If there's any questions, I could try to answer them.
Okay. Questions of staff or the sponsor, Councilmember Gardner?
Mayor, do you mind?
Councilmember Gardner.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, so just to piggyback on what Brandon said, but yeah, very simply, this brings Aurora in line with what's allowed by state law. State law currently allows retail marijuana operations to stay open until midnight. Aurora arbitrarily decided to close at 10 p.m. And as Brandon noted, several neighboring jurisdictions do stay open till midnight, and the retail marijuana stores in Aurora have the data to show that our residents are in fact going to those jurisdictions to buy retail marijuana after 10 p.m. And so really what's happening is we're losing out on revenue, specifically Denver, Adams County, and some other jurisdictions that are around us that have retail marijuana. And so this brings us in line with what the state allows. And again, as Brandon noted, at the Planning and Zoning Commission, this was unanimously approved there as well by a 7-0 vote. Thank you.
Is there anybody who wishes to speak on this issue?
Yes, we have one person on the call-in line.
Daniel, go ahead. You have 3 minutes.
Hi, my name is Daniel Pabone, and I represent Starbuds. Starbuds is located in 3 wards in Aurora, Ward 1, Ward 3, and Ward 5. We are in strong support of this change and resolution. We have many customers who have told us that they would prefer to continue to visit and shop at stores in Aurora after 10 p.m., but because of the closing time, have decided to move to places like the city of Denver, which is fairly close, Glendale, Arapahoe County. And we have said to them that, we will work with the council and the mayor to see if we can get that changed so that we can provide products and medicine that we give to our customers. And so it was on behalf of that request that many of the businesses in Aurora got organized and are in support of this. Although many folks, I think, wanted to testify tonight, I think the delay might have changed that, but I can say that I've reached out to several members of the industry and have not found anyone opposed to this and mostly unanimously support. So ask you, Mayor, and the council for your consideration of this. I think it will keep customers in Aurora and taxpayer dollars in Aurora. Thank you.
Is there anybody else who wishes to speak on this issue?
No.
Are there any questions of staff or, I guess, would that be referred to as the applicant? Or what's that? The sponsor or the individual who just spoke? Seeing none, the public hearing is now closed and a motion is in order.
Mayor, motion to approve item 12B.
It's been moved by Councilmember Gardner, seconded by
Jurenski.
Second by Councilmember Jurenski to approve item number 12B. Further discussion? Seeing none, call for the question on the adoption of item number 12B.
Councilmember Hancock. Thank you. The motion passes to adopt ordinance 2024-31.
Would the clerk now please read the title to item number 12C?
Item 12C is public hearing without related ordinance to consider an appeal by the applicant of the Planning and Zoning Commission decision of denial of the Red Rocks Auto conditional use request within the MUC zone district.
Public hearing is now open. Presentation by staff.
Yes, Mayor. This is Liz Fuselier. I'm a planner with the Planning and Business Development Department. There is a presentation, and I am working remotely, so I'm not sure whether or not you all can see that or not, or should I share my screen?
Please share it. Okay, it's up.
Is it up?
Yes.
Okay. So good evening, council members and Mayor Kaufman. My name is Liz Fuselier. I'm a planner with the Planning and Development Department, and tonight I'm presenting the Red Rocks Autos for an appeal of a denial by the Planning and Zoning Commission for a conditional use approval to operate a used car business within the MUC zone district. Next slide. Not sure who, oh, there you go. Thank you. The applicant sought to operate a used car dealership at 2620 South Parker Road. In this zone district, a conditional use approval is needed to allow the requested use, which is a used automobile dealership. Next slide. Here is an aerial map showing the location. The business will have an office space at this location, along with 15 associated parking spaces for inventory. The project is located within the MUC zone district, surrounded by the MUOI and R1 to the east. The business is located within the Urban District Comprehensive Plan place type. The use is listed as a primary use within the plan. Parking is associated with the office building. This is also the location now agreed upon by the applicant and the landlord for the parking of automobiles for the business. Next slide. Here is the existing, sorry, we're a little behind. If you could just move forward a couple slides, please. Keep going. One more. Thank you. This is the existing site plan for the office building and the associated parking. As you can see, this was, parking was originally located on the east side of the building and is now located on the south, away from the residential district. This concludes my presentation. The applicant is present for any questions the council may have. He is on the phone.
If desired to do so.
Yeah, the applicant does not have a presentation.
Okay. The appellant has up to 15 minutes for a presentation.
There is no other presentation, Mayor.
Is there anyone who wishes to be heard on this issue?
No. And Mayor, is your mic on?
Yes.
It is? Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
We're all just a little deaf, I think, after all the yelling. So there's no one that wishes to speak on this issue?
No.
Okay.
Can we ask a question?
Public hearing, oh, I'm sorry. Questions of staff from council members?
Mayor.
Councilmember Coombs.
Yeah, so I guess my question is just about the current kind of utilization of this building and this space. Is this an underutilized building, underutilized parking lot that's just otherwise going to sit there and continue to not be well used if we're not supporting this? Like, it seems that if the landlord and the applicant are entering into that agreement, then that's a use that the landlord sees as valuable to their property. So I guess I'm just wondering, do we have any information about the utilization of this space currently?
Staff spoke to the landlord directly, as well as the property management company that leases out the office space. And based on that conversation, there is significant vacancy in the building, and the parking lot is underutilized.
Thank you.
Further questions of staff?
Mayor.
Councilmember Hancock.
So I'm familiar with this area, and I'm just wondering for the applicant, are there going to be more than 15 cars at any time, because it does butt up to a residential neighborhood? So right along that fence line there are houses right there. So does the applicant have any plans to expand this business, or will it just be limited to custom cars of 15?
My understanding, the applicant is on the line. Autumn, would you like to answer that question? You just need to unmute yourself.
Oh, sorry. Hi, my name is Adam. I am the owner for Red Rocks Autos. Thank you for this opportunity. So the answer for this question is no. I am limited for 15 vehicles only. I'm just a small business, run everything by myself. There is no employee. There is no one it's just me basically doing everything. So it's my limit, and the agreement with the landlord for the area is only 15 vehicles. And for the future, like maybe a couple years or so, if I'm gonna expand my business, for sure I'm gonna find a different location that's gonna meet my requirement for a bigger business. But in the moment, it's gonna be only like anywhere from like 10 to 15 vehicles. Like maximum is gonna be 15 vehicles.
Further discussion or questions of staff? Seeing no further questions of staff or the applicant, the public hearing is closed, and a motion is in order.
Mayor, so just to clarify, if we want to oppose the decision, what would the motion be? Because the question is, do we want to uphold the decision of planning and zoning?
Is it a no vote?
So Katie, you reworded the question.
So you can make the motion, doesn't mean that that's what you're choosing to do, and then you can, because you always want to make it in the affirmative, your motion, so you can make the motion, have a second, and vote no on it.
So let me try to clarify that. You can make a motion to reverse the planning commission's decision and approve the item. That would be your
Okay, that would be a motion that you can make.
Yes.
Okay. Then I will move to reverse the planning commission's decision and approve the conditional use.
Moved by Councilmember Coombs, seconded by?
Hancock.
Seconded by Councilmember Hancock. For discussion? Seeing no further discussion, call for the question on the adoption of item number 14A. I'm sorry, item number 12C.
Katie, it says still deny.
To reverse the decision to deny.
Oh, to deny. Okay, thank you.
Double negative.
Katie, I misvoted. I want to support the appeal. I think I put no.
You put, okay.
It's so confusing.
Mayor Kaufman?
Mayor votes yes.
Councilmember Gardner? The motion passes to reverse the decision of the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Clerk, now please read the title to item number 14A.
Item 14A is ordinance 2024-25, amending sections 94-122, 114-107, 114-109, and 114-110 of the City Code and adding section 114-112 to the City Code pertaining to the abatement of unauthorized camps on public property and in an area closed to camping. And Mayor, we have individuals who would like to speak on this item.
Very well.
Michael Nicosia.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council. My name is Michael Nicosia. I'm a resident of Aurora. I wear many hats, including pastoring a church in Denver, working as an on-call chaplain for Highlands Ranch Hospital, and serving as the chair of the board of directors of the Colorado Council of Churches. While I'm only speaking personally as one of your constituents, I'm guided by my faith that teaches love of neighbor as an essential, and by the Colorado Council of Churches public policy statement on affordable housing and housing justice. It supports legislation to provide quality and safer housing for the very poor, out of work, and homeless populations, including support for those trying to get back to work and into a permanent home. I applaud your intention to fulfill these needs in our community, but the amendments regarding unauthorized camping before you, particularly their tough love approach to homelessness, making living on the streets untenable, and placing conditions of employment on the help our most vulnerable neighbors need, are themselves untenable solutions and counterproductive. I myself experienced homelessness 12 years ago. I was struggling to pay rent, having lost my apartment mate. When I finished my chaplain residency at Anschutz Hospital, I found that I didn't qualify for unemployment because it was an internship. Fortunately, I did qualify for food stamps and had the luxury of having friends who could spare a bedroom for $400 a month plus housework duties. After half a year of job hunting, I finally got a position with a local hospice agency, but by then I had spent down my savings, so it was a while longer before I could afford a place of my own again. I share this because there are many stories out there on the streets. Stories of people less fortunate than I who have run out of options. I urge you to listen to the stories on the streets and to the expertise of those who advocate for them and are meeting them where they're at instead of where we think they should be to provide for their desperate needs. So I ask you to vote against enshrining tough love into policy, or at the very least, postpone the vote until you take such stories seriously. Thank you for your consideration.
Robbie DeYoung. Trudy Adams.
Hello, Mr. Mayor and City Council. My name is Trudy Adams, and I live at Banyan Hollows Condos, which is at I-11 and Buckley. Just west of those condos is a city property. I'm going to say a walking area, bicycle area, path with some water. That area has been infested with homeless people, and not good homeless people, bad homeless people, since the summer has begun. They have been moved 6 times in 2 months. They move 50 feet and stop again. These homeless people have been naked in our pool swimming. They have stole from the Ark in the shopping center that's right there. Ark no longer has outside dumpsters. They now keep it all trailered, and they can only fit so much in a trailer. Just last night, I watched them come through with a bicycle and take one of Ark's buckets and fill it up with goods and run it back to their camp. There are probably 5 camps in that area, and 10 people in that area. We have people bringing trash onto our condo complex, which we have to haul away and pay for. We have people sleeping in our grass. And our area is a mix of families as well as single people. There are young children that go swimming in that swimming pool, and young children that ride their bicycles down the walk of our property. And we have been inundated for 2 years now with homeless people. Every time the city of Aurora moves them, there's drug debris, needles and such left at the property. I know the city tries to clean it up best they can, but these are still areas where people walk with their children and ride bikes and skates. This homeless problem has been a big issue for us. Not only have all the shopping centers now kicked everybody out of there because of shoplifting, but they're constantly hanging out front, wanting money. It's become a huge problem. This bill needs to pass, and much more needs to be done as far as this problem is concerned. These aren't a once-in-a-lifetime this happened, I'm sorry, person. These are people who don't want to go anywhere. They want to sit and build campfires right there, do drugs, drink, and have party. That's all they're interested in. So I ask that you pass this bill and go even further if you can. Thank you.
That was the last individual.
Katie, Tanya had left and she said she would be on the call-in line. I don't know.
She is on the call-in line, but she said that she didn't want to speak.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Very well. Presentation by staff and the sponsor, Councilmember Sundberg.
I'm going to handle it for the city attorney's office, but Councilmember Sundberg, if you have something you want to say, or you want to pass it to me, up to you.
Well, thanks, Pete. Thanks, Mayor. You know, ultimately, as a city, we want people to accept help and to experience recovery and healing. Earlier today, I was pleased to see Councilmember Coombs appear at an armed forces treatment court graduation today, in which we saw a man named Leo, probably arrested a year ago or more, and went through this program surrounded by a team, and now he's been sober for a long time, productive, teaching, just a small victory, and we want to duplicate this again and again. Now, this discussion for me began a year and a half ago when I noticed about 3 people at one of the 225 intersections habitually trespassing after they were asked to leave. They refused services again and again. They shoplifted from the 7-Eleven. You could see them on that quadrant visibly defecating in full public view, sleeping on the sidewalk 2 to 3 feet away from vehicles that are traveling 50 miles an hour, 45 miles an hour. So it's a safety issue that we're looking at. We have canals in the back of homes that have dry grass areas where we don't want a fire started. As the good lady mentioned a short time ago, we have trail systems, the Highline Canal where women don't feel safe hiking, people camping under bridges, waterways, biohazards, rotting food. So this is a safety issue, and we want to enforce it through very clear no trespass signage that says, you know, you cannot be here, and it's a safety issue. And we want to ultimately, hopefully, steer them to our heart court in which people can get help. But the philosophy here is we want people to get help, but not do whatever the hell they want to do. Okay, you have this overly permissiveness, and we're seeing this. Look at Havana and Colfax. It's a perfect example of what it leads to when you allow folks to do whatever they want to do. But again, this is compassionate, and you know, sometimes you do have to enforce the law, and people are helped in that way, as that graduate was in that court system earlier today.
Let me just say, I support Councilmember Sundberg's proposal, and the way this is written is that it will start in the Colfax corridor. I mean, sorry, in the I-225 corridor. As that area will fall under a trespass ordinance. The rest of the city, with the exception of obviously private parks, would fall under existing ordinances. And so public spaces outside the I-225 corridor would still fall under the 72-hour notice and with just the responsibility of having to move without, as long as they move, there's no penalties. But the way that it is written, it can expand as necessary beyond the I-225 corridor. And the companion proposal that just passed by Councilmember Gardner is the creation of the Heart Court, a problem-solving court for low-level offenses committed by homeless individuals. And so the goal is not to punish. The goal is to get them into treatment. And we have outreach teams that go out every week to meet with those experiencing homelessness, living in these unsheltered encampments, and or offered services, and very rarely do they take us up on it. We also offer services to include a place to stay for when we embed in encampments, and I believe that that's the right policy to do, even though there's not a requirement right now. in law. But I strongly support this proposal and would urge its passage. Further discussion.
Mayor.
Councilmember Coombs.
Yeah, so today in study session, we had a lot of conversation about the lack of law enforcement resources, how we will implement the PNI plan for Colfax and Havana and the street racing operations. And we didn't even get to the Aurora Reservoir enforcement. And there were already concerns about how we're going to address the issues with crime in other parts of our city that don't fall into those specific plans and programs. And we also use law enforcement resources, though it has generally gone untracked and was very difficult to apparently track down that information, for clearing encampments. And there's no information in the backup. There was no information given in the fiscal note about how much increase of staff time and staff cost would be associated with essentially tripling the number of abatements that we conduct. And it, I think, stretches credulity to say there will be no impact to staffing for police or our Housing and Homeless Services Department to triple the number of abatements that we undertake. We also I've heard from folks who are concerned about areas that don't get enough attention as it is, areas that are not going to be these posted locations as written out in the ordinance. And it also seems unlikely that we will be able to dedicate more resources to those areas if we're tripling the resources that we dedicate to these specific posted areas. And finally, Councilmember Sundberg mentioned the health and safety issues that require this ordinance, but actually we never required any ordinance to clear encampments on the basis of health and safety issues. That was always possible and was being done before we ever had a camping ban in our city. We've always had the authority, if there's a health and safety justification, to immediately abate camps. And so for those reasons, I'm not going to support this. I don't think we've ever provided the data that backs up pursuing this policy and backs up the idea of effectiveness of this policy. And in fact, we haven't seen a reduction in street homelessness as a result of this policy to date. And finally, one more point, which is if we did clear every single homeless person off of our streets, we would not have the bed capacity to offer housing to every single one of those people, which puts us in violation of existing court precedent and would certainly put us in violation if the grants pass decision goes in the direction of not upholding that legislation. So thank you. I am a no.
Well, the proposal essentially reads that it is limited to the I-225 corridor, number one, and clearly we will continue to offer shelter for those who are willing to take it. Further discussion? Seeing none, question before us is the adoption of item number 14A. Call for the question. Did I ask for a motion?
We need a motion in a second.
Oh, I'm sorry. Motion is in order. Councilmember Sundberg.
Mayor, motion to approve item 14A.
Moved by Councilmember Drinsky, seconded by Councilmember Hancock to approve item number 14A. Further discussion? Seeing none, question before us is the adoption of item number 14A. Call for the question.
Hancock's yes.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Sundberg?
I think we lost him.
Oh, there we go, we got him. The motion does not pass with 5 yes votes, 3 no votes from Councilmember Coombs, Councilmember Medina, Councilmember Murillo.
Does pass.
Does not.
No, it does not
Oh,
pass. This
we're
is a
short of
second reading. It requires 6 for an ordinance. The rule specifically says if due to an absence of one or more council, if final passage is supported by the majority, and you say there's 5 in support, but 4?
It will come back to the next council meeting.
Yes. Then it comes back to the next council meeting.
So we don't have Councilmember Gardner and Councilmember Sundberg right now?
Councilmember Sundberg voted yes. We don't have Councilmember Bergen or Councilmember Gardner. And due to those absences, if a finalized ordinance fails to pass by 6 votes, it gets brought back to the next council
Mayor,
meeting.
excuse me, Councilmember Bergen is trying to vote remotely, but her e-scribe is not pulling up. But Councilmember Bergen is trying to vote remotely.
And Councilmember Drinsky, I'm also getting word that the WebEx feed has gone down, so that may be part of the issues that we're having with the voting.
Okay. They're working with IT to get that back up, but what I can do is, since Councilmember Bergen's trying to vote virtually, and if the city attorney's office is okay with that, I can change her vote to a yes. That would be 6 votes and it would pass.
Yes, and if she's trying to vote virtually, she is present.
She's trying. She's asking me to tell you. She's asking me to tell you that she is trying to vote yes.
Okay.
Mayor, but I'm sorry, how can a person be present if they're not present?
If
virtually.
Is she logged into
Yes.
WebEx?
You see how it's not working for certain people.
She was logged into WebEx, so Councilmember Sundberg was able to vote right before it went down. So I saw his vote come through. Councilmember Bergen was listed as absent, so that could impact her ability to vote virtually if she was on WebEx before it went down.
Okay, thank you.
But she's trying to vote. I have it.
So at what point can we counter vote?
So she needs to be on WebEx or some mechanism to vote.
WebEx is down right now.
So-
She was trying to vote on eScribe, so I guess.
If she sends a text, does that count?
If she sends a text to Katie to indicate her vote.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Um,
I'm calling her, so can we have a 2-minute
And
recess?
that would work too.
I'm calling her. I'll put her on speakerphone.
Okay.
Ridiculous.
Then choose the 6th vote.
Assuming she votes yes.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Can you just say, can you just give your vote, yes or no? Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Thanks, bye.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Will the clerk please read the title to item number 17A?
Item 17A is City Council appointment of Jack Bajorek as interim city attorney.
Motion is in order.
Mayor,
Councilmember Coombs.
move to appoint Jack Bajorek as interim city attorney.
Moved by Councilmember Coombs, seconded by Councilmember Murillo, to appoint Jack Borjak, or did I say it right? Borjak? Close. Wow. As the interim city attorney. Further discussion? Seeing none, call for the question on the adoption of 17A.
Katie, I don't think it's coming up for me, but I'm a yes.
Thank goodness you're here.
Yes, I'm here.
Mayor Kaufman?
Thank goodness. Thank goodness.
Mayor Kaufman?
Mayor votes yes.
Katie, I'm a yes.
I'm a yes.
Murillo.
You're a yes.
I'm a yes.
Hancock's a yes.
She heard me.
Councilmember Sundberg, are you on? Okay, he's not voting, but the motion does pass with 9 yes votes.
I'm glad for my new boss.
Reports. For the mayor, I just want to say that since I'm full-time relative to council that's part-time, I obviously do a lot of activities, and so I don't like to go over them during the council meeting, but if you want to follow what I'm up to, please go to my Facebook page at just Mike Kaufman, Mayor. Let's see. Councilmember Gardner? Councilmember Jurenski,
No report.
Mayor Pro Tem Zvonik,
No report.
Councilmember Murillo.
Skipping me?
What's that? Uh-oh, I forgot. We switch around these days. Councilmember Coombs.
That's okay. Just wanted to thank CML for putting on another great conference. There were some really interesting and illuminating sessions, including one from Brighton on youth violence prevention and youth engagement generally, that I think we could learn some things from them about their approach to youth engagement and their youth commission, as well as some very interesting conversations that included our city attorneys. And then I do want to also just thank the folks who took the time to come out tonight, as has been requested, starting with the approach to our at-large council meeting or at-large town hall meeting that was canceled on Thursday. Just a public apology to the family of Kylan Lewis, who had to both witness on camera the very short time that it took to kill their family member and are undergoing the suffering that is involved with that experience, and the folks in our community who are re-traumatized after many incidents of violence. And I will plan to bring forward a statement that will hopefully get the support of my colleagues to also apologize to that family.
Councilmember Murillo.
Thanks, Mayor. Echoing the sentiments of Councilmember Coombs, a reminder, we do a summer recess for my town halls, so we'll resume back in August. But I am making a bit of an exception to the normal schedule, and I'll be hosting a community meeting on Saturday, July 13th at 10 a.m. at Montview Elementary on grocery access and the closure of the Walmart in Northwest Aurora. Lots of conversations around economic development as well. So I hope that you'll join us. Thank you.
Councilmember Sundberg. Councilmember Medina.
No report.
Councilmember Hancock.
Thank you, Mayor. Just wanted to say that my upcoming town hall with Councilmember Zvonik will be on July 11th at the Colorado Early Colleges on Abilene. I hope to see you there. Also, I am very supportive of public invited to be heard, and I think it's important for people to be able to speak their feelings, and it's important to do that. I think there's an appropriate way and a respectful way to do that. I think also when people come to do a public invited to be heard, they should actually have some facts to back up the things that they say and not use hyperbole and presentational theatrics to make a point. I don't think that it serves us. I think it divides us. I think that it diminishes the power of the point when people resort to name calling, cursing, screaming, making up stories, and outright lying. Not that, I knew the job was dangerous when I took it, when I came on city council. So, the fact that people would make personal comments that are totally untrue about myself or my family, I find it really disheartening and disappointing because it diminishes the process of us being individual citizens, making our voices heard in a cogent, respectful manner. And it makes everybody seem less. I just think when you have a legitimate grievance, if you're not able to articulate it in a way that is meaningful and as ultimately supposed to be convincing the people that you're talking to, then you might want to step back and maybe do some research or calm yourself so that you can speak. It doesn't diminish the fact that people are hurting. I totally respect that folks hurt and they feel put upon, they feel the way they feel about a particular situation, but it's important to also understand the city council itself does not have the ability to fire and tell people what to do in the police department. We need to see the investigation find its full course. We need to do that and then do the appropriate things. But to take over this chamber, to disrespect this body, to disrespect the process, I find it very disturbing that we do that, and we diminish ourselves and we fall into anarchy. And then we have activists and others who really their whole mission is to dismantle, disrupt, and destroy, really hurt us in the end. And at the end of the day, don't we really want justice? Isn't that what we want? And if we're not looking for justice, if we just want to scream and holler at each other, then how do we find that? We've got to find a place where we can meet so that whether the outcome is the thing that we want or not, we have to find the truth and follow that thread wherever it leads. It's important for us to keep that in mind in order for this system of justice and this system of governance to work. I want to see that happen. That's the reason why I serve. I think that's the reason why we all serve. And I stand to salute the flag because I served. I stand to salute the flag because this country, with all of its problems, is still the greatest country in the world. That's why people risk their lives to come here. And we have to remember that. And if we want to be part of the change, we must be positively part of the change. It's easy to scream and holler and criticize, but if you're not about doing things that are actionably going to move the ball forward and help us, then you're not helping. Again, my town hall is July 11th. Councilmember Zvonek and I will be there to bring forth actionable solutions and talk about the things that we've been working on to serve our communities. Thank you.
Councilmember Lawson?
Mayor, I have no report tonight.
Is Councilmember Bergen available? Okay, no report. Seeing no other business before the Aurora City Council, the meeting is adjourned.